Hey, welcome to Saturday Shorties. It's another first for this show as we'll be taking a look at a figure from Leonard's The Corpse line. This line uses the G.I.Joe body construction like many knockoff toy lines in the 80s and 90s. This was legal as you can't copyright the human body, so anybody can use that type of construction. The corpse at least had plastic quality approaching G.I. Joe's, unlike some I could mention. So meet Large Sarge version 2. This figure was available in 1992 with no original body parts. It's a repaint of a previously released figure because Leonard liked doing that even more than Hasbro. I picked this figure purely because of the name, much like Commando Hank back in the day. He's large and in charge as the Sarge. And first impressions? Man, Fidel Castro got buff, though he did skip leg day. And that's the one thing that bothers me about most corpse figures. Their chests are just too huge. Not just compared to G.I. Joe figures, but also in proportion to their legs. Anyway, I like the simple color scheme, grayish with silver highlights and a brown camo pattern on the legs. Though I have to ask why it's only on the legs. Have it on the whole figure or not at all, I say. Detailing is pretty damn good. The corpse has always been good at that, especially compared to other knockoffs. The silver paint on all the little stuff like the grenades, ammo and shoulders is really well done. Hell, it's even on the wristwatch, something some G.I. Joe figures don't even manage. Articulation is, well, it's the standard articulation of a G.I. Joe figure. Go watch literally any HCC 788 video to learn more about that. As far as the whole figure goes, I wasn't just joking when I compared him to Castro. He looks like he'd fit in with those South American revolutionaries from the G.I. Joe comic. Hell, that's totally what some people used these figures for as kids when playing G.I. Joe. Or another third faction separate from the Joes and Cobra. He came with some generic accessories like most corpse figures, so those aren't really worth talking about. Overall, the Large Sarge is an okay figure and is pretty close to a G.I. Joe figure quality-wise. But there's just that uncanny valley type thing going on where you know it isn't. And besides, G.I. Joe has got its own Large Sarge. If you want to know more about the character, there is actually a corpse wiki out there. Everything on the planet seems to have a wiki these days. Well, except me. If somebody wants to get working on that, that'd be cool. I'm of course kidding, but seriously get working on that. Well, I'll see you next time, everybody, and hey, why not like, share, and subscribe if that's your thing? Hey, welcome to Saturday Shorties, the last one of the year. Today, we're taking another look at a figure from the core line by Leonard. So meet Sensei Kabuto. This figure was released in 1994 with no original body parts. And what is this? I mean, some of the core figures can be out there, but wow! Is he supposed to be a wrestler from the future? A rejected design for a Running Man villain? Normally, we don't go into that character much on Saturday Shorties, but I feel I'm owed an answer here. Let me just look it up and... okay, so he's a martial artist and Taekwondo world champion. The helmet is supposed to be one of those boxing helmets to protect your head. So why does it look metal? And is that a championship belt? It looks weird. This is less martial artist and more mid-90s World Wrestling Federation. Of course, I've been calling this guy Sensei Kabuto. That roughly translates to Master Helmet or Helmet Teacher because I'm pretty sure they just pulled some Japanese words out of their ass when naming him. But that's actually just informed speculation on my part. You see, this is actually the first figure with that name. He doesn't look like somebody from a dystopian sci-fi movie with a $10 wardrobe budget. No, he looks like he's from a kung fu movie with a $10 wardrobe budget. This figure, which is a repaint, doesn't actually have a name on the package. All it says is he's part of the Blue Bruisers from the Blade Warriors subline of the core. And the Blade Warriors gimmick was they fought on roller skates. Yeah, you can't get more 90s than that, can you? I mean, how am I supposed to make fun of this? It's like trying to mock a clown for the way he's dressed. Congratulations, Leonard, you've beaten me. Anyway, going back to the figure, that is a painful grimace he's got on his face there, like somebody just kicked him in the groin. or insulted his helmet. Also, I don't know what's up with that wristband. Is it a radio, a computer, or just padding to backhand somebody with? His pants are damn near normal compared to the rest of him, though they do have writing on it that could be real Japanese or Chinese. How the hell am I supposed to Google that? It could also just be gibberish. If anybody can read that, let me know in the comments. And that was Sensei Kabuto, certainly one of the weirdest toys we've covered here on Saturday Shorties. You can try to find out more about him online, but I think I told you pretty much everything there is. Yeah, the core was never that deep character lore-wise. Well, all that's left for me to say is Happy New Year, everybody, and I'll see you next time. And hey, why not like, share, and subscribe if that's your thing? Hey, welcome to Saturday Shorties. I ran a poll on Patreon to determine what the next Shorties trilogy was gonna be, open to free members as well as those who pay. So, join us on Patreon if you want in on that. And they chose the core toy line. And we'll be taking a look at not one, but two figures today. So meet Electro and Vector. Vector. Again, I swear I can't get away from Battle Force 2000, and I swear I didn't plan this. Well, I couldn't have, it was a poll. These figures were released in 1997 with, body parts. Yeah, the core reuses parts so much it's hard to tell which figures had them first. These guys were part of the Star Force subline of the core, and I will never forgive Leonard for not calling it the Space Core. So many Red Dwarf jokes I can't make now. Anyway, the figures from this subset are my favorite core figures. They look great. They're very sleek and polished. Very, clean looking, I suppose? Is that a thing? I've said this before, but one thing that's always bothered me about core figures is that their torsos are too big in proportion to the body. That's true for Vector here, but Electro at least looks slimmer, even though he isn't. It's the white on the sides of the torso that does it, I think. And it bothers me less on these guys as they are wearing bulky spacesuits. By the way, the only reason I even know their names is because they're on the back of a big multipack card. The color schemes look basic, but there's a surprising amount of things going on. There's the primary white and gray, of course, but the blue visors and the black detailing really make the figures pop, and the very sparse yellow is a nice surprise to find. The molded details are on par with G.I.Joe figures, which you can consider high praise, as G.I.Joe really set the gold standard there. Speaking of G.I.Joe's gold standard, articulation on these is exactly the same as the classic G.I.Joe O-ring figures with ball-jointed heads, so there's no need to go into detail about it here. Accessories are pretty generic. You've got backpacks that sorta remind me of astronaut ones, a weird gun with 3 barrels, and a thing that's either also a gun inspired by Space 1999 or a scientific measuring device. None of these really stand out. Overall, these are pretty great figures, not just for core figures, but in general. I think this sub-team is the best they ever offered in that toy line. I do wonder if they could make them weirder though. Well, I'll see you next time everybody, and hey, why not like, share and subscribe if that's your thing. Hey, welcome to Saturday Shorties. We're finishing the core trilogy by taking a look at 3 of the weirdest core figures I own. The first, and admittingly the most normal one, normal being a really relative term here, is Crowbar from 1992. This figure is a straight recolor of a previous one, and it's best described as if Hasbro made a Dreadnought in their typical 90s colors. And I'm not even exaggerating, I mean just look at Zartan. If you look at his face, he actually thinks he looks cool, you can tell. It's like the 90s threw up on a Mad Max movie. I am impressed with the detailing though. The gauntlets, the chain on the chest, okay, I can't in good conscience call this a camo pattern. The covered in bird droppings pattern on the chest and legs, well, it's all pretty well done. And now for something completely different. Meet Brickwall. This figure is from 1994, with again no original parts, as it's also a repaint. The best way to describe this one is what if RoboCop was a Power Ranger. Okay, to be fair, unlike last week, this isn't a Power Rangers ripoff, as the molds do predate that show. This isn't peak 90s yet though, as I haven't told you what subline he's from, namely the Blade Warriors. These were warriors on roller skates. Yeah, that's a lot less cool than the 90s may have led you to believe. Detailing is pretty basic, but the colors do make him pop. Overall, I still think this is a pretty cool figure, just very weird. And we've saved the weirdest toy for last with this thing! Meet Sky Terror. This figure is from 2002 and part of the BioWing Battle Squadron line. His outfit kinda looks like battle armor for Serpentor if Serpentor had severe anorexia. He's meant to look insect-like, but to me he's got more of a snake quality to him, though that could be my bias since he reminds me of Serpentor's outfit so much. It probably has the best detailing of the three, with scales, mesh, and a great looking helmet. It's interesting how slim the body is, especially compared to the normal bulky core figures. As part of the BioWing Battle Squadron, he came with a flying vehicle that had animal DNA in it. Yeah, just go with it. So maybe the characters had their DNA altered or something to look like that. And those were the three weirdest core figures from my collection. If you have weirder, do let me know in the comments below. And that wraps up this core trilogy. I do want to mention how valuable FigureRealm.com has been for me to figure out what year these toys were from, what their names were, and what subgroups they belong to. They have an ungodly amount of action figures on their site, so do check them out. Well, I'll see you next time everybody, and hey, why not like, share and subscribe if that's your thing.